We're now joined by number 12 ranked UFC women's strawweight, Angela Hill, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Tecia Torres.
Hello, Angela. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Angela, my first question. I know we like to joke that if we don't see you every month, that it's a long layoff for you. But do you feel like it's been too long since your last one, or has it been a benefit? Nagging injuries, you get a little break, go back to the gym to work on your game. Has it been good to have a little bit of space since your last fight?
it has, but I don't really feel like I was off because I was in fight camp after my fight in September. Like I was in fight camp for the December card and I did like a full 8 weeks, which is usually pretty rough for me. Just because I hate thinking about someone for that long. But I did a full 8 week fight camp. And when I got COVID, I did take some time off to recover from that and just not get anyone else sick. But after that, I got right back on the ball, got back to the gym, and I have been able to learn some new tricks. I'm hoping I'll be able to implement them in this fight. But I've been working a lot of just grappling lately. I know everyone always says focus on grappling, but I have, and I almost didn't hit pads for the Tecia fight. I was just working on my grappling and really trying to be more offensive in that area. Usually I just focus on defense when I'm in fight camp, but for that fight camp, I was thinking all offense. So now that I've had that time to let that marinate, I'm really looking forward to using it in the fight. I don't know if it's gonna go that way. I'm gonna try to just see what's open and not force anything, but that's a big part of my training right now that I'm really excited about.
I know you're very proud of that active schedule. I was looking at it, everyone was very, excited about Kevin Holland. Had you
Mm.
made it to that last fight in December, you would have tied him 5 fights in a calendar year.
All
Did
right.
it bother you honestly that like you couldn't also reach that mark, or was it, that's just how it goes sometimes?
Yeah, it bothered me mostly because I did the whole fight camp. Like the fight camp's the worst part of fighting. In the fact that I did all the work and I wasn't able to show up, like it really sucked. And I'm looking at the positives with that. Like I'm happy that I was able to recover so fast. I'm happy that I didn't get too sick. So I was one of the lucky ones. And everyone who's in fight camp right now, they're taking a huge risk with their health. They're in there during the pandemic, just grappling with people, sparring with people. So I think everyone understands the risk that they're taking, but I do feel lucky that I haven't had residual effects like a lot of the fighters have been reporting. And yeah, I'm just ready to go.
Well, we're certainly glad you're feeling better. My final question, you have a new show with Karen Bryant. What had happened was, how are you
Yeah.
enjoying how are you enjoying doing that show, and how has it helped you get better on camera, because we know you also do the analyst stuff?
It helps a lot. I also do a podcast with my husband, a ceremonial weigh-in podcast, and then back in the day, I was doing a little show with Jessica Penne. So all that stuff has just really helped me be able to speak better. And it's hard to gather your thoughts into a quick sentence sometimes. So being on camera just allows you to get that practice in, get those reps in, just like training. And when I'm on ESPN, a lot of people are like, "Oh, have you practiced before? Have you done this before or gone to school for it?" And I'm like, "No, just practice a lot." So yeah, it's been working out.
Do you find yourself saying what had happened was just in regular conversation more?
Yeah, well, I'll say what happened was, and then I'll think about it and I'll go, what had happened? Yeah, it's stupid, but I really like doing the show with her. She's a veteran. She knows the game. She knows how to get a good conversation going, and yeah, we talk about some fun stuff. But yeah, I always think that, oh, what happened? Oh, what had happened?
Hey, thank you, Angela. Good luck.
Thanks.
We'll take our next set of questions from David Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Angela. Let me go ahead and get the uncomfortable question out of the way now, which is Tecia Torres, because that was the fight you were supposed to have. It was scheduled in December. Unfortunately, you got COVID. You can't control that, obviously. But was that fight offered for this card and it didn't happen? Can you kind of walk me through the particulars of what actually happened?
I've been waiting for a call from Mick to reschedule that fight, especially after listening to Tisha's post-fight scrum. She's like, "Oh, I want to get right back in there, quick turnaround, blah blah blah." And so I'm waiting, like, okay, well, she already signed the contract for me for December, so nothing has changed. It's not like she fought someone who was ranked, or she fought someone who even had experience or fights in the UFC. And then I keep hearing back that she doesn't want the fight anymore. So that really bummed me out, because it's like a redemption thing. And the Yoder's probably coming in here with the same idea. Like, this is her chance for redemption of a loss that happened in the past, like a long time ago. So I was excited about that fight. I feel like I've gotten better than her in the recent years, and she kind of showed that she has no interest in fighting me. So it's not a big deal now because I have a fight, but at the time, there were no other offers on the plate. It was either that or fight in June. And I'm not sure when the Tisha fight would have happened, but she basically told, like, from what I know, she basically told the matchmaker, like, "Hey, you can either fight Angela or wait until October and be on the bench." And she said, "I'll wait till October." So, I don't get a person like that. Fighters fight. And to me, like, that's like a saying that I've always felt strongly about. Fighters fight, show up, make some money, put on a show, and show what you've been working on. And if she's not willing to do it, I'll move on. But I do think it's kind of funny that she'd rather sit out that long than fight me.
With that being said, I'm sure this didn't really play into your mind, but is it kind of ironic that given that situation that you're fighting Ashley Yoder this week and a fighter you have a win over where, in terms of rankings, in terms of position in the division, this win doesn't do as much for you. No offense to Ashley Yoder because you already have a win over her, but obviously you want to fight. So you're fighting her. Is that kind of the point?
Yeah, I feel really confident about this fight. I feel really confident again that I've evolved a lot faster and I have more tricks up my sleeve. But every fight's a risk, and I think that's the main reason Tisha doesn't want to fight me now, because the risk is even higher now than it was before. So every fight's a risk, no matter how confident you feel about it. Anyone can show up and get a knockout or a submission, or just be stronger or faster. And it's just a risk I'm willing to take. Like, I'm not getting any younger. I definitely want to string together another streak, and I do accept that I lost my last two fights, but I honestly feel like I've performed the best that I ever had in 2020, and stringing together a couple more wins will be a good start off to getting close to a title run. So I know that's far in the future, but I know, like, the strawweight division, especially once you break into the top 15, that title shot is like within a short grasp. So I'm definitely working towards that. I'll string together as many wins as I need to until I get a ranked opponent. Hopefully that'll be the next fight with a win over Yoder. But yeah, I'm definitely not looking past her. I know she's tough. I know she's scrappy. I know she's, like, clingy and really good at getting on the back. So yeah, it's a risk I'm willing to take in order to get to that next step.
If there's a benefit of a rematch, 4 years later that you already won, it's that you can actually show your improvements you made over the last 4 years. Is there a little bit of a proving point in a fight like this to say, okay, 4 years ago I beat her by unanimous decision? I know you've had a couple maybe controversial split decisions in a row. Is there a little bit of, like, let me go out and finish this girl, let me go out and dominate this girl, kind of show how much I've grown in 4 years?
Exactly. Like, I want to put it on her. I want to finish her. I want it to just be a completely dominant performance. Like, the last time, I think it was unanimous and I think it was 30-27, but I don't remember. But I want a 30-26. I want a 30-25. I want to, if it goes to decision, that's what I want. And I feel like if that's my goal, then the finish will come. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to most, is maybe trying out my new tricks, but on top of anything, just going for it, not holding back, and hopefully just showing how much I improved since I fought Watterson.
And last one for me. I know you work on a lot of things in training camp. I know this was kind of short notice, but I'm kind of curious. Fighting Ashley Yoder, is there any chance we might see a little bit of that Stephen A. Smith combination you've been working on in this fight?
Man, I've been practicing it. We have a call for it. So watch out. You might see it. But yeah, I mean, you do generate a lot of power when you throw your hand all the way behind your butt and then punch the ceiling. So who knows?
Thanks, Angela.
Thanks.
We'll take our next set of questions from Pablo Santamaria with Tecia MMA Ecuador.
Hi, Angela, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you're coming from two losses. What do you learn from those losses? Because one of them was a very close match against Claudia. What do you learn from that?
I learned that I can't just strike. I have to do more. I have to mix it up. I have to go to the ground, or at least try to go to the ground, because I think every striker knows at this point that if even if they just attempt to take you down, sometimes the judges score that, or even if they just push you, they don't punch you, judges will score that. So I'm trying to be more dominant, and in order to be more dominant, getting on top of someone is the best way to do it. Like if you're getting on top of someone, hitting them, not worried about holding just to score points, but just hitting them, getting the punch count up. I think that's my goal going forward, is just to be more versatile, hit more level changes, threaten the takedown, get the takedown, go for submissions when it gets up, no sweat, because I feel super confident on my feet. And I think if I mix it up more, then I'm just gonna become a more dangerous fighter. So that's what I learned in the last two fights. That grappling scores more than punches, and that's my goal. And I felt that way immediately after the Watterson fight, and I've just been working towards that goal ever since.
Okay, for sure. You already had a victory over Ashley. Do you think that gives you like a mental edge over her?
I think so. But I also think that Ashley is going in there with maybe a little less weight on her. For me, like I'm ranked, she's not. So she's going in there, with nothing to lose. And for me, like I want to break my lose streak. I want to beat this girl that I already beat. I don't want to, make the mistake of fighting someone who I already beat, and now I'm losing that clout. So there's a little more weight, I feel like, with that, but at the same time, yeah, I feel confident. Um I feel like would beat her now. And I feel like just I feel stronger in a lot of places. And it's funny because I've actually been working a lot of the positions where she's strong, just by accident, just because I wanted to. So from the Watterson fight on, I've been working a lot on hip throw defense and judo stuff, cage work, just really getting a good understanding of that. And I think that's gonna just help me become a better fighter all in all, but especially against Yoder, that's what she's really good at. So I feel really confident just in the fact that I've been training almost for her, and then I just happened to get her.
Okay, for sure. And if you get the victory, who do you want to fight next? Maybe Tisha, or do you have another name on your mind?
Teacher won't fight me next, so I'm moving on. Yeah, she can sit out for 8 months. Um, I mean, I'd love a rematch against Claudia. I think that fight was very obvious that I should have won. So I'd love to rematch it with her. Uh, who else? I mean, Watterson was a good fight. I don't think she'll fight me again though, but if she's down, I'm down. But like when it comes to new people, I love to fight Marina Rodriguez. She put on a great fight against Rivas, and I think it would be a hell of a striking match for sure. I could practice my grappling attack, but I won't be too worried if she gets up. So I think that would be a really exciting fight as well.
I agree. That fight with Marina will be awesome. And the last thing, would you like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans?
Ecuador, what's up? Hola. Thank you for being fans.
Okay, thank you very much, Angela, and good luck on the fight.
Thanks.
We'll take our next set of questions from Cote Cruz with ForTheWin.MMA.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good to talk to you, Andy. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for being with us today. Well, 2020 was a bit of a sour years in terms of results for you. You fought twice last year, two split decisions that didn't go your way against great opponents, but this doesn't seem to affect your stock at the moment. Does the current skid affect your approach in this rematch against Ashley Yoder? Is this something you keep in mind, or does your confidence takes over and shepherds you wherever you need to go?
I think if anything, I feel like the last two losses are forcing me to be a more dynamic fighter and not just a striker who can get back up. And and it's hard to accept those losses just because in the moment I felt like I did enough to win. But I feel like in the future is those hitting those bumps in the road are just gonna make me a much more complete fighter and a much more dominant fighter. So yeah, I still tell myself like, hey, don't forget like those fights were awesome fights, because it's so easy as a fighter to dwell on your record or dwell on a win or a loss just based on what a judge said that it is. And it's easy to lose that confidence in your ability because it's like, well, that was a great performance, but this judge said it was a loss, so now I'm mad at the performance. So a lot of times when I say, oh, I'm on a 7 fight win streak, I'm on a 5 fight win streak, is really just me telling myself like, hey, don't doubt yourself, know that you're improving, know that you're getting stronger, you're on the right path. You just gotta keep making those adjustments, keep doing what you've been doing, and eventually no one will be able to beat you. So I think that's what I took mostly is just forcing myself to attack in different positions, not just stay striking, not just be one dimensional, but just really mix up my game and yeah, use everything.
Well, you're taking this fight on 1 week's notice like a gangster. You've said that you're inspired by guys like Cowboy Cerrone and his willingness to take on all comers. Can you talk about the mental approach needed to engage in those situations and describe a bit of how you live these moments personally?
It's like that YOLO mentality, right? I think we were saying it when we were kids, but yeah, you live every day like it's your last. You never know what's gonna happen. If anything, 2020 showed us that like this, we're we're barely surviving as a species, you know? So why not? Why not go out with a few good memories, a few exciting times? The ups and the downs, they just make the ups bigger, you know, the downs make the ups greater. And I would regret if I didn't take this opportunity or all the short notice opportunities that I have, because I think, what if, what if that ended up being a spectacular performance? What if that was the one that catapulted me on my next win streak that got me to the title shot? So I've never, just because I've always stayed active and I always train. I have a gym in my garage now, so like even when my gym gets shut down, I have somewhere to train. Like just the fact that I'm always prepared makes it simply a mental shift. Like, it's not like I'm not in shape to fight. I just have to be mentally ready to fight. And I feel like whenever I get those opportunities, I just say yes, because like, why not? What's the worst that could happen? I lose the fight, big deal, you know? But the best thing that could happen is I win, I make some money, I get a bunch of great memories. I get to show everyone how good I am as a fighter, and yeah, it just keeps making my stock rise. So yeah, I'm willing to take risks like that just because the reward's so high.
Hearing you talking about this makes me realize that you and Cowboy could actually do really cool things together on a podcast sometime. So
People keep
hopefully you
telling me
can
to
guys
talk
do
to
that.
Cowboy. Hook up. Oops, sorry. Hook up the the call. I can kind of ride a horse.
Yeah, well, you've been doing a lot of media work for the promotion and in your own social media. this last time. I want to congratulate you on that because I really enjoy your conversations with Karen Bryant.
Thank
Um,
you.
no problem. Could you tell me how does this dimension of the fight game have served you to grow as a fighter yourself?
I think just diving into people's past and seeing their journey from maybe winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one, to just going on a streak and dominating, and then realizing that people don't even remember that about that fighter. They're like win and loss, like their ups and downs. Once you're on top, people just know, hey man, you're on top and you're great and you put on some great performances recently. So it is cool to just look into people's careers and just see how they've evolved and how they've gotten better and how they never gave up. And it gives me hope for myself, for my own career in the future. And it's cool. Like every now and then I'll be watching tape and I'm like, ooh, that's a nice move. I'm gonna try that, you know, and then I go to the gym and try it and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but it gives me a lot to work with. And I think a lot of fighters don't study tape just to study it, like study other people's fights, not necessarily someone that you're fighting. And I think it's actually a really good thing for a fighter to do mentally, is just studying, watching people who do things better than you, and you try to mimic that, asking questions with your coach, like, hey, I saw this cool move. How do you do it? Or can you break it down for me? Like all that stuff has really helped me in my fight game and just allowed me to take different paths that I wouldn't necessarily take if I didn't have a coach, if I only had a coach telling me what to work on. So that's been a cool part of studying too, is just like getting that confidence with seeing everyone else's journey, especially the people who are where you want to be now, and also just stealing their moves.
Well, thank you so much for your time and the best of luck in your fight on Saturday.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for you today, Angela. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.